Come on, man. If Batman is there and Cyborg is there, if I'm Cyborg, I'm saying, nigga, you go over there and do that shit. You the world's greatest detective. Figure that shit out.
Y'all gonna get tired of asking me for my IT time. I do this
exactly. I guess one.
The whole show. We about to get started.
We have a special guest with us today, Mr. Hilton George.
How y'all doing?
Oh, you know, it's tough. I'm in the house right now. I got the windows boarded up and everything. What's good?
Said the Proud Boys is coming.
Yeah, should have got my gun license. Too long.
Or should you
Ah,
have? Do what you
that
gotta do.
That might have been that might have been the setup. They want you to go get that gun license. Now we got your ass registered, nigga.
Got your social security number and
exactly. We know exactly where them niggas are with the guns. Get them first.
Oh Lord,
stand back and stand by.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
Look, what do you count that at, man, Sam? What was that, about 5 minutes? 5 minutes we went in. We didn't have 5 minutes and we already, and no alcohol involved, ladies and gentlemen. This is.
Well, I mean, to get Alex like this, you don't really need alcohol.
Nah, I don't need anything.
Nah.
Oh, this is a free show.
This is automatic,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Say whatever you want. Shit, damn, hell, nigga.
Yeah.
I say it all day.
All right. So no clutching, no pearl clutching on the show.
No, we don't do that here.
Okay, I'm
not a fan of that.
I'm in. Sold me.
Yeah. But I mean, you've pretty much had a busy year with the whole Blerdcon event with Lovecraft. Like, how was that experience?
Hold on, before you start that, for the people who don't know, which y'all all should know, tell us who you are and what you do. Give us a brief synopsis.
Very important.
Hilton George, CEO, con chair for Blerdcon, Black Nerd Convention, coming up on what will be the 5th year, but the 4th rotation of the convention right over in Crystal City, Virginia, right across the river by the airport. 3 days, 24 hours of cosplay, partying, panels, anime, video gaming, you name it, we do it. And this community piece that has come along with leading a convention like this, which has taken a special place in the hearts and minds of the Black nerd community, has opened up some interesting doors during this turbid time over the last 10 months. So answering that question, to answer your question, man, it is, this past, 4 months almost. I would say I would go back 5 months. One, what happened in February and March is that when the lockdown happened, everybody went underground, everybody went in the house, everybody went, retreated into their houses and interacted with the world on their screens. So we're all pinned to our screens 24 hours a day. And then, we're dealing with this pandemic. We don't know how long it's going to last. People are getting sick, people dying. We don't know. And then all of a sudden, George Floyd gets murdered on camera. And the whole world just so happens to be right in front of their screen. So the dynamic of that, and I'm telling you this to tell you something else, is that something that under normal circumstances might have taken a month, maybe 2 months to go viral in the normal social media rotation happened in minutes because we were all watching. And so the reaction was immediate. And then we went into the streets, and then the world went into the streets, and the community came together, and the allies came together with the community. And, you all saw what happened. And simultaneously, all of the conventions in the world, for any reasons, festivals, concerts, conferences, everything, weddings, you name it, all of it got canceled. Blerdcon included, for obvious reasons. And so the industry that was so used to brick and mortar physical marketing events to kind of introduce their products and their properties. You're talking about DC Comics, you're talking about Warner Brothers, you're talking about HBO, you're talking about Netflix. If you go to San Diego Comic-Con, you just see, panels, and they call it Hall H. If you've ever been to San Diego Comic-Con, Hall H, that's where all the premieres come out and all the trailers come out. And they didn't have that anymore. So they were looking for digital means to reach their audience. And then all of a sudden, the Black audience, i.e. the Black nerd audience more specifically, came into focus and came into prominence in a way that it hadn't in the past. And so out of nowhere, I'm getting calls from HBO and calls from Warner Brothers and DC Comics. And, these are not like people I didn't want to work with. These are people I've been firing off emails to for like 6 years, like, hey, HBO will be a great partner for, and they hit me up, and I'm thinking now, I think it's a hoax. I'm looking at my inbox, like somebody went straight to the website, hit the contact us thing, this is HBO, Debbie, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there like, man, y'all ain't gonna have me answering this and then put my email on they answer this email list and da-da-da. So I kind of pushed it a little bit to the side. And somebody hit my man Haas, my business partner Haas and co-founder, and was like, yeah, we're trying to get in touch with Hilton because, people I work with over at HBO trying to get in touch and do something with Blerdcon. And I got in touch with them. I was like, oh, wait, that was real. Like, okay. All righty. So all of a sudden I'm getting these contacts with people who were looking for strategies and advice and steps forward on how to reach the Black nerd audience digitally. And somebody somewhere dubbed me like the mayor of Rap City or something. I don't know what happened, but they were kind of like, how to do this. And they were running off my stats and like, oh yeah, your con brings this many thousands of people and you got this much reach and you got that. And I'm like, oh yeah, we do. How do you know that? Like, anyway, so we ended up setting up these strategies around Lovecraft Country, this summer, working on that, which was an amazing opportunity. And if you've seen the show, why it was amazing.
Yeah.
We also worked with Warner Brothers and the DC Fandom, which was effectively their Hall H operation that they would have done at San Diego Comic-Con. Like every trailer and every panel that they would have done at San Diego Comic-Con, they did virtually, and we did some work with them on that. And then, as you probably heard, the last thing we did, we just did at the end of last week, was Afropunk. Yep. So at a time where I was looking at, okay, we're not going to have Blerdcon, and then we're going to have a year of not being able to go to other cons to promote Blerdcon, and not really be able to do a whole lot of work as far as booking guests and stuff, because nobody knows when you can fly or what the passport situation is going to be, or the COVID situation, all of that. Now, all of a sudden, we're doing mass marketing, and digital media with the community and opening up some doors. So it was really cool and surprising and exhausting. But definitely a positive thing.
Yeah, man. It's kind of shocking how, it's like a blessing and a curse. It's like COVID ruined a lot of people's years, but more tragic ways than others. But at the same time, it separated us, but it kind of like brought us together. And it also let other major media see that, hey, there's other things out there other than like the quote unquote mainstream things that you're used to seeing. Like,
absolutely.
Like, that's cool that HBO hit you guys up and was like, hey, we got Lovecraft Country. So like a Black sci-fi experience show.
It was a mixture of everything.
You guys are
everything, man.
You guys are the a blurdy con. We cater to you. So it's like, why not bring it that way instead of premiering it,
Absolutely.
And let it get lost in San Diego.
I think what's going to happen though is that once the brick and mortar stuff comes back, the digital media is not going to go away.
Oh yeah, it's not.
I think this now. What happened in the preceding 3 months after the lockdown is that technology ramped up. Like, this here would have been an act of Congress a year and a half ago. Like, what software do I need? And, what kind of microphone and did they talk to each other? And how much bandwidth do I need? And blah, 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 blah. Out of nowhere, we went from sketchy, choppy Skype calls we doing multiple conference calls with hi-fi and Wi-Fi and high def, and y'all on 4K. I'm on 2G. They on 4K. But you know, that happened in the span of like 2 or 3 months. Like, you know, my parents is on Zoom. I'm like, first of all, who gave you a laptop? Exactly. Like I got all kind of questions. You know, so it did connect us in ways that we hadn't been connected in before. And it's just going to add this additional layer of connectivity between us and the media. And I think they like it. I think they really like the results, because the community engagement that we were tasked to kind of foster has been so positive, you know, and all the groups that we've been working with, and, you know, websites and the individual influencers, you know, who were engaged. You know, they were talking about Lovecraft before the premiere.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You can see that. Like, you can put the hashtags in. You can research and see how many hashtags are being used, yada, yada, yada. Whereas, you know, people just watching it on cable, you know, you can see who's watching and who's not. But with HBO Max being the digital media, and with stuff like this, man, I think we're going to be 1 foot in the virtual and 1 foot in the physical from here on out.
Hold on. Don't forget Disney Plus.
Hey, man, Disney Plus. Go down to the little, what do they call it? The adjuncts, like the additional. They got, like, when you go in, I was like, oh wait, they got DC in there too, and they got. Well, wait a minute, I didn't know they Disney had all Plus. Of this stuff.
Don't encourage him. He's obsessed with Disney Plus right now.
It's a.
Hey man, I'm a disciple. Man. I'm a disciple of Disney Plus, baby. Let's go. Even though they robbed me of my $30 though.
Mulan.
Oh, you did that,
man. Hey man, I'm still mad. I want my $30 back, man. That was the most trashiest shit I ever seen in my life.
He tried to get me to watch it, but I didn't.
Hey, it wasn't. Well, you can watch it for free.
I know you can watch it for free, but I'm not wasting my time.
Hold on. Let's talk about this. Hold on. Oh, you said so. You said what? It wasn't a what?
I said it wasn't a bad movie. It was a bad real life adaptation of the animated film.
Okay.
If the animated film didn't exist and they had put this movie out,
it would have been trash.
Oh yeah,
you know, it without, well, of course nobody would say it because everyone went on the strength of the animated, but then they also, you know, you buy into that, like, oh, they're gonna go see the real life film because of the cartoon. Well, the animated film is now being compared to it, you know, so that comparison is setting the bar so high too, and it's like a trap, you know. So I'm like, you know, y'all didn't have to do it this way.
I mean, like, has there ever been a movie adaptation that's been good from a TV animated series?
No,
never. Same thing with video game movies. There's no such thing as a good
no. You know what though? I have to admit that I did like Sonic the Hedgehog a little more.
Oh my god! You guys keep telling me about Sonic.
I haven't watched
Mother in Hedgehog.
I'm telling you. I was watching it with my arms folded, looking like. Look, I was looking at Trump during one of his briefings with his arms folded all the way up under his armpits. I was just like, y'all not about to get to, you know, and you start getting relaxed and, you know, like, this is some corny ass shit. Okay, well, all right, I see what you did. Oh, nostalgia, look at that. Oh, you know, next thing you know, you getting all, you welling up by the finale. You're like, oh, Sonic.
Wait a minute. Just picture that movie with the original graphics it had.
That would have been nasty.
Before the crowd outcry about, yo, what the hell you doing with Sonic?
Dude,
bro, I've never had a crowd. I never seen like mass protest against a movie to the point where they get the movie changed.
And for the better.
Yeah.
Usually the crowd is 50-50. You know, sometimes what we want is not what we complain about is not what we want. You know what I mean? And we get it wrong. But this one was definitely that change was right, because I was like, ain't no way in the world.
Yeah, because that ain't Sonic.
Right. I don't know.
That's a muskrat. I don't know what the hell that is.
It looked like a half-ass cosplay. It looked like somebody would put on.
It looked like somebody was in cosplay, got struck by lightning, and it got molded to them. That's what it looked like.
Come on, y'all.
It's very, very specific.
Come on. That's
you thought of this specific. You thought of that before this conversation. That's been in your head for a minute. That was very specific.
Yeah, man. That sounded nasty.
So, but yeah, man, it's something we got to adapt to. I mean, to circle back to the original question, I mean, the community has always been like all the way on and then off. We kind of go out and we go to these cons and we nerd out for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. I mean, we go all the way out. And then we go back to our jobs in our normal households and our normal lives for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whoever it is between now and the next con. And then we nerd out again. So it's like this thing where we go into hibernation, then we blow up. We go into hibernation, we blow up.
It's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster. And when the cons got canceled, we were all bottled up. I mean, we're still bottled up.
Yep.
People are used to what's my next cosplay for this next con that's supposed to be next week, and get my travel arrangements, and I got my flights, I got my badges, yada, yada, yada. And we don't have that anymore, because the nerd community, while we were active on social media, we didn't really invest a lot of our connections through social media, because the con is where the family was.
Yep.
Like I stayed in touch with people on Facebook and Instagram. Hey, like that cosplay, can't wait to see it at Katsu. Oh, you're gonna bring that to Blerdcon? Oh, blah, 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 blah. But I'm not doing my taxes online, my day-to-day, how you living, wellness check. I don't have to do a wellness check. I'm gonna see you next week. We're gonna have a drink next week, and then you can, tell me about the breakup after the second shot. Then we'll you know what I mean? And now we don't have that. So, it's this thing where now we have learned to connect through this medium in a way that we hadn't done before. And I think that's going to stay too.
So what do you think? Okay, I don't know if you have any plans yet, but what do you have planned, or any ideas that you might have in your head, without giving it away to every other con? I don't know how you're going to be able to explain this, but do you have any ideas for the future, for the next Blerdcon, where you will like mix some digital with some,
oh yeah,
in real life?
Secret
y'all already got y'all plans set up for how y'all can mix things together?
The how is the question, because when you talk about technology, in our homes and our offices and all the places we frequent, we know what the Wi-Fi rate is and what we can put on. Like, I can have somebody playing video games over upstairs, but I can do Zoom downstairs, and that's about it. Somebody take a digital phone call in the next room and we're all in trouble. But with a hotel, you got to figure out what are their capabilities, because this will be new for them too. So the how is over here. The what is really what's interesting, because what I want to do is what we're doing here. I want to have all of the panels live broadcasts. Not as bland as a C-SPAN security camera on the Senate floor type thing, but but have like a camera in the back of the room connected to the microphones, where it's you get to see the emptying of the room and the people filing in and all that sort of stuff. But you get to participate, because one problem that we have had, which is a blessing and a curse. The blessing is that we have so much content at Blerdcon. We average between 100 and 130 panels or workshops every year, which is 10 times the amount of the average convention, and that's, it's one of the big pushes and one of the big organizing, dedications that we have to put in every year. And people will say to us, I'm glad that you had this variety and this amount and these particular people talking about all these really important issues. Their complaint will be, I can't be two places at once. And I've had to make these decisions between two panels or workshops that I want to go to, or other special events. So what I'm hoping to do is that, one, we'll have the live broadcast. And I think what that will do is it will allow people, if we can do it, broadcast like a C-SPAN channel into one of the channels that you can get in your room or anywhere inside the hotel, right? Simulcast, because that's what they do for conferences. They pipe that stuff up to the rooms, oh, it's channel 3. Oh, that's the conference channel. What's happening on the conference channel? We'll put all the big events there, right?
They do that for Dragon Con.
Right, exactly.
Oh, they pipe the con into the rooms?
Yeah.
The big events there. They probably got 300-400 things happening at once, so they can't do that.
Yeah, they can't.
Channels, but the big stuff you can put, and we would do the same. But meanwhile, we are recording and live, rebroadcasting all of the content that is happening inside the smaller panels, 44 people, 50 people panels, et cetera, et cetera. So if you can't make it, you could, a week and a half after Blerdcon, that stuff gets uploaded to the site, you'll be able to see it. Or if, I don't want to get up and go on, it's 9, this particular panel is 9 a.m. Do I really want to go, blah, 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 blah.
Sleep in my PJs, watch some panels.
Exactly. Without having to get in my cosplay and, somebody complaining because I tried to sneak downstairs without showering first because I was late.
Yeah, please don't do that, people.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
We know who you are.
From yourself.
We know who you are.
Yeah, we know who you are. Y'all gave me the flu. One of y'all gave me the flu.
Conquer, dog.
Exactly. So that's going to be one thing. The other thing we're going to try to do is incorporate more outdoor events. I'm working with the city to secure some spaces, just like we had the food truck rally.
Yeah.
That was a really active space, way more active than we ever anticipated. I'm like, yo, it was a block party out that joint at night. And I'm sitting there like,
I'm not going to lie. I was mad. It was the one food truck y'all had. Me and Sam tried to go out there and get some food, and that joint was smelling so good, and we couldn't get nothing. What was that, the first day or the second day?
I think it was the second day. Like, we were in line.
We were dying.
And they ran out.
The moment we stepped up, hey, we out. Yo, like, what the hell?
We were about to die. We've been shooting so much cosplay the whole day. And I'm shooting and playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, trying to switch between the two.
I'm telling you, man. Listen, I tried to tell the food trucks because this was something
different. Get them food trucks back.
The food trucks had never done an event like this before. And we were trying to explain to them because they're used to doing like, when you're doing a lunch rush around a conference. Right. So we're going to come in lunch 2-3 hours, sell off some pizza slices or whatever, and then leave. And I'm like, no, this is going to be 3 days, 24 hours of people who don't sleep, who are going to they're going to come out. They're going to be eating midnight. They're going to come out after party. I gave them the calendar. I gave them the schedule. And I said, look, if you got to go to Murray's and get all your meats, and if you got to go and stock up, you got to. Some people believed us, some of us didn't, or some of them didn't. And just like you said, man, after day one, they were just like,
yo, what the hell happened?
Yeah, because we were planning to keep all the trucks there locked into the lot the whole weekend. We had to let them out Friday night because they all had to go re-up, and they didn't think they wanted to re-up. So like from like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night Friday, they was peeling out trying to go re-up and get their stuff so it'd be ready Saturday. And then Saturday when y'all came up, man, y'all tore through some of that stuff, man. Y'all tore all the way through that joint. And so it's a positive thing. And I think there won't be that same issue next year because people remember. They're like,
yeah, they gonna remember. And they gonna want to come back to make that money.
They ate the napkins. Like we
But wait, like how many years have you had the food truck? Was it like the first?
That was the first year. That was the first year. Now the year before we had a food truck.
I didn't see that one. For the barbecue.
The barbecue truck came, and then we had one food truck that pulled up on the street, and they did like some snow cones and stuff.
Yeah, I remember the snow cones.
I got a full-blown food truck rally because we didn't know if we would be able to support it. I know there's a lot of folks that are finicky eaters in the con community, so I didn't want to be the one to be like, okay, you're a vegan, Jamaican, and But once we came out the back end of the barbecue and we saw how many people would come out in the heat and despite all of that stuff and just turn up, I said, okay, we need to do it. Now, another thing that we're going to do with that is we're going to start using that space between the trucks as programming space. So it will be performances, there'll be more DJs, there'll be more activity, more benches, all that stuff. Working with the city, they really came through and made that happen in ways that we could spend a whole show on, but the partnership is really solid. There are other lots, there's other outdoor spaces that we're going to try to utilize. And the two reasons we want to do that is, let's assume that the very first vaccine that comes out is like 80% effective. And by the time we get to April or May, 75% of the country has been vaccinated and the numbers of infection goes down. Even then, people will be very conscious of closed in indoor spaces. Yep. So we want to give an outlet for people to enjoy more outdoor engagement while still participating in Blerdcon. Even, beyond the food, but we're going to have like maybe some performances and music and stuff happening outside so that we're not faced with anybody feeling as if I can't go to Blerdcon because maybe I'm an anti-vaxxer. A lot of Black folks don't trust, vaccine. So we can't assume that's just a white West Virginia thing.
For various
reasons, right? So let's just assume that there's a percentage of us that aren't going to do it and maybe don't feel like wearing a mask during the Saturday night party, whatever. So those are the things that we're going to do, try to digitize as much of the con as we can and spread out some of the programming so that people will have more space to maneuver and not necessarily feel clustered in.
Well, speaking of masks, I mean, I know you're the idea guy behind the glow shirts. Uh, so I'm just saying, like, are you guys gonna have like official Blerdcon masks for people to wear?
It really depends. I mean, obviously, it would be something that'd be cool as far as the merch table.
Yep.
But there's been
$9.99.
ideas floated, and I'll throw this into the universe. And if we end up, because of this not being the first to do it, I'm not mad. But instead of having a badge that you show, you have a mask. That is your entry into the con space, indoor con space, is your mask.
Your mask. Yeah.
Right. And it'd be a high quality mask, something that's nice, collectible, usable outside of the con space, whatever. So those are ideas like that we can be creative on and create a safer, more comfortable, and that's the key, comfortable, because you could be 100% safe, but if people aren't comfortable because of what, we're going to have some PTSD issues
definitely.
around this for many, many moons to come. And we just got to be ready for that. So yeah, we can't just assume that, 2 months after the last vaccination goes around, circulates, that people are going to be ready to just jump back into, big crowds and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that because of this pandemic, people have been conscious about their personal space.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like big time.
Yeah.
Like before, people would just hover around you and stuff, but now, like you said, hey, like back up.
We didn't know what droplets were before this. Like, wait a minute, that's just somebody talking. That's what's happening. Oh dang, I did not know how much we were really sharing in our own airspace.
I was watching some old videos of some cons we was at.
Oh my God,
man! I'm like, man, how do we do this? I was like, people next to me. This is foreign. This is a foreign concept to me. Like my phone just sent me, oh, you were here a year ago. And I'm like, I was around that many motherfuckers. Yeah, I'm like, that's crazy.
How many people in that hotel room? Oh my God.
I'm like, oh no, they're not social distancing. I'm like, man, we were. Hey, I can just say this: we were some wild boys.
It'll be a new world.
It'll be a new world. I'm going to be wrapped in plastic. I'm going to be wrapped in plastic. That's going to be my cosplay for next year. A goddamn condom. That's what I'm going to be.
Wow.
Ain't nothing affecting me.
Hey, you know what? I laugh, but that's good advertisement right there. Like that could be our sponsor Trojan.
Oh, hey everybody.
Look, listen, it's going to be enough trouble trying to keep the COVID babies from coming 9 months from when we finally have our first con.
Oh shit.
I mean, people are pent up.
Yeah, ain't nothing to do.
And no way to do it. And the problem is that, well, it's not a problem. It's the expectation is that the first 4 or 5 good size metro region conventions, like there'll be some, I think by mid-spring, regardless of where we are, even if we're halfway through the vaccination process, end of next spring, your little library cons or your smaller, more intimate Comic Cons, those are going to happen out in Virginia and stuff. Those are going to pop back on and they're going to have their crowds. So that's a different thing. But like the first overnight, 2-day, 3-day, 4-day, hotel party con that comes off is going to, like the rush of people that are going to descend upon those first 5 or 6 events is going to be just
phenomenal.
It's going to be amazing. And so we need to be conscious of, what are you doing with your space? There's no calculus for what's going to happen with Blerdcon 2021. If what's going to happen is going to happen, I mean, the numbers are going to triple and we're going to have to make sure that we have the space for that so that people aren't,
Yeah. Now that's going to be me all day. Shoot. I remember when I went to, what was that? That was Awesome Con last year, man. And I had a free ticket. Somebody gave me their ticket. They gave me a VIP ticket.
That shit.
I think that was the year that Stan Lee was there or something like that. I forgot what year was that. That was a while ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some dude. Hey man, bless you, man. I think we're still friends on Instagram. I don't remember who this guy is. Walking down the street, gave me his ticket. I was like, I just wanted to go in there and buy stuff. Here you go. All right. Bless you, dude. Because I had no money. I had no money.
God.
And I got to see Stan Lee in person. So I'm like,
God.
I shed a tear and everything. But yeah, I went in there, got to see Stan Lee and everything. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go down to the spot where you shop for stuff, shoulder to shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I went in there, I went like this, and I weaseled my way right back out. Never went back. So I'm already the type of person where when it's too many people, I ain't fucking with it. I'm gone.
Well, see, you was like that before the COVID.
Yeah, before COVID.
So just imagine how many people are. I mean, people who are already agoraphobic, I think, found some solace in the nerd community and the con space, and even more specifically in the Black nerd community, as far as like, okay, this is a friendly environment, and that's kind of lowered my anxiety. And I think you saw that with a lot of people at Blerdcon. Felt like this family environment. So now, with that crowd, now you gotta be doubly focused. You just gotta be focused as a con runner on how do you make it safe, how do you make it fun. I mean, we might even have to take a L on guests, because we had guests that were booked from the UK, from parts of the country that 2-3 flights, and we had people that was coming that might have been coming from as far away as Australia and stuff like that. Those people may not still feel comfortable hopping on planes for 5 to 6 hours at a time.
True.
And sitting next to Sneezy McDuffie next to him and coach. So we may not even be in a zone where we can prepare to have the kind of guests, or at least the guest list that we had in previous years. So we're gonna have to reevaluate that, at least for this upcoming summer. So yeah, it's going to be a really, really interesting year, and the con community misses itself, man. I
know. Not even itself, like your con, like, and you just pretty much touched on it. Like, it's a community, it's a family environment. Like, not going to Blerdcon feels like not going to the big family reunion.
Man, you don't know how much it hurt to have to make that call.
A lot of my Black friends that I met came from Blerdcon. I met Sam at the very first one.
Yeah, what? We had this is our 3rd anniversary.
What? Well, our 4th. This would have been our 4th.
Yeah. I thought y'all went back
I met him I met him year 1. He was taking pictures in the corner of Harry when he was the Red Skull, and everybody was crowding around. I'm like, nigga, he just taking 2 pictures and just snapping on to the next one. I'm like, let me see what this nigga doing over here. I go over there, I look at the back of his camera. I'm like, how the hell did you do this in 2 shots? So I told him straight up, hey.
Well, Sam worked quick.
Bro, I'm like,
you're not going to be that, move your arm just 1 inch and
that's
slightly
it.
Turn it. He going to pop. All right. Now we
next person. Here. And I was like, hey, do you mind if I just like hold your light and like follow you around? Like,
and he did that all day. Like I
did the whole day.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You got that job.
Shit,
that's the job. I've been trying to get that job for 2 years.
Yeah, but he learned. Like he learns quickly. Like, and we've been friends ever since. Like we vibe together well. I mean, we pop ideas off each other well. And the thing is like,
I met Matt there.
We met Matt. I met Matt the second year.
I met Matt the first year and didn't know that was my friend's friend, because I was talking like my friend. Oh my God, Olsen, yeah. Right? Me and him, we went to the first one together, and that's where I met Sam. And then we went up to the dealer's room, is where we met Matt, who was selling stuff upstairs. I didn't really talk to Matt at the time. I was just like letting Olsen talk to him because they were friends from college. Then the next year, I see Matt again talking to Sam, and I'm like, I know this nigga, but where do I know this dude? And then Olsen comes in, it's like, oh, hi, Matt. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, everybody knows everybody here. I'm like, that was fun. It was like, knowing that we all are like right around the block from each other.
Year 1 was really interesting because it hadn't happened, and everybody had a vision in their own head of what the ideal Blerdcon would be. And every vision was a little different from person to person. And so, we didn't know what was going to happen. We were throwing the kitchen sink up against the wall, just trying to see what would stick, because there's this thing a dynamic that we have in the community, and I'm speaking specifically of the Black community, is that we want so much that we don't have, that sometimes we don't know what we want and what we don't want, but we want it all, or we'll ask for it all. And so people were like asking for stuff, and we would put a lot of work into certain things, and the stuff that people actually got excited about would be something like really minor and to be organic, and something that we didn't really put a whole lot of planning into. And we're like, oh, you like that, huh? And they go, oh, that was really great. How you planned that thing that was over there. And I'm like, we planned that. Yeah. This thing we spent all this money and manpower on, how about that? Like, it was all right. And we're like, okay, you know. So as we go year to year to year, we're able to get feedback and follow the numbers to see what the community wants in a con. And we can kind of slowly move stuff out of there that people, you know, okay, people aren't really, like, we don't have to get rid of stuff, but we're like, okay, that's not gonna be front and center. Let's focus on this. And that's why you saw with the last one in 2019, the focus on music and food. And that is what carried the soul of the convention. You know, music is a device that kind of influences your emotional reaction to situations and moments in time, right? Food is something that tethers you to your connection to everything around you. You know, you bond with people when you're eating with them or drinking with them. You know what I mean? That connection is that. So if you have those two things, and you know how it is in psychology, if you can take a moment and attach an emotion to it, you'll never forget it. You'll never forget that moment, right?
That's true. And
so we put music in every corner of the con. Like, is there an electrical outlet there? Put a DJ over there. Like, what's happening over here? Who's that? Is he who wants to spin? Give him a speaker. We had music coming out of every orifice of the con, to the malaise of the Hyatt at times, obviously. but we were putting music, and people were just like, everywhere I went, I just felt like this groove. I was like, that's because there was places you was hearing music, but you didn't even know you were hearing music.
Oh yeah,
right? Because it's just so ubiquitous. I'm out in the food truck rallies. That's Frankie Beverly. Let me get my ribs. You know, you're not even thinking about it. So we're constantly evolving and growing the con to kind of meet that expectation and to make it unique. You know, because there's stuff that's universally nerd stuff. You know, anime, video games. You know, there's like a thread that keeps it pure and is nerd. So you say, how do you put the black top spin on the ball for this, right? Like, how can I make that black? You know, and you say,
Megan Thee Stallion,
right? See here, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. This, see, when your ticket is $175 because she costs 80 grand to come.
Pay it. God bless her. I will kiss her feet. I'll drink her bath water. What she need me to do?
See, this is
you're gonna kiss her good.
God bless you.
Cannot put bath water on the flyer. I'm just letting you. I can't.
Hey man, I'll take it, man. What you selling now? I'll buy that ticket.
I mean, you touched on a good point about bringing something unique, like, and the unique thing that you brought last year was the barbershop, man.
Oh,
I know, man. I didn't get my
barbershop.
Man,
my beard was looking all crusty, like it is right now.
Next you know, you're gonna be selling chicken and waffles upstairs, like, for real.
Do it. I'm gonna buy it.
Listen.
Cornbread too. Cornbread.
Listen, dealing with a community, which is what we think of. We don't really think, like other cons often talk about attendance, fan base, stuff like that. I think of community, because I think the measure of Blerdcon success, yes, mathematically will be upon how many people come and how much commerce is happening. All that stuff is important. But the success of the growth and the spirit of the con will be, how have we grown the community and how have we interconnected the community even more than it was before the con, right? Just like you guys met people, you've networked, now you guys got this podcast. You know, these are like the stuff I like to hear about what the con might have been able to put in motion. And I think the most important thing to focus on when it comes to the growth of the con and the stuff that we're going to do from year to year, you know, it's going to be, you talk about a Megan Thee Stallion and stuff like that. Like, you know, maybe a year before she got famous, you know, if she had done that Todoroki, was it Todoroki she did?
Yeah. My hair.
And trying to get me a Sasuke. When she said, I'm trying to get her a Sasuke.
See, there you go. So we trying to get that in is something that we might have been able to make happen. But those are the ways in which we know that we're doing, you know, kind of the right thing and going in the right direction with the con, because the community is connecting and the community is growing with each individual iteration of the con. So it's really cool to hear that you guys have seen that as part of the show.
Hey man, if you need help, get Megan, man. I'll DM her. I'll hit her up.
If she answers your DMs, man, I will put a message in a bottle and I will send it to you.
Bro, what about the other person that you DM, Natty something?
Whoa. Stop talking. We don't talk about that anymore. That was on Twitter. I should have never DM'd her from my personal account. I probably should have did that from the podcast account. I was trying to get this girl.
Look, you got the final edit on this recording. You can say what you want to see how far it goes.
Nah, man, it's cool. You know, Violet Myers, man.
Oh,
I was trying to get you on the pod. You know, hopefully the pod will blow up. You know, you'll see that I was being legit. I wasn't trying nothing crazy.
Violet Myers, man. Oh,
you didn't have to. You know, what did she do? Yup. I can't DM her. Let me see. Oh no, I think she unblocked me from the DMs.
Wow.
Because before it said you can no longer
Oh Lord.
Oh no, it's typing. All right, it's typing. So maybe she, you know,
she probably turned it off because she was getting too many messages and she just wanted to stop all the messages at that point.
Probably. I don't know, man. But yeah, Violet Myers, she's a nerd. She's a nerdy person in the computer, a person of color, you know. Of Mexican descent.
Just like we were saying, is, you know, a lot of the agents, man, a lot of the labels, a lot of the studios are going to be real tepid about letting their talent travel the way they had before until it is like 100% safe to do so. Because, you know, it's not like, you know, some like a voice actor or something like that, you know, that works gig work, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If that person gets sick and they're all out of the game for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, or whatever, you know, that's kind of on them to make that decision. But if you've signed a contract with HBO or Warner Brothers or whoever, and you got like a shooting schedule for movies and stuff coming up, and then you tell your agent, I want to fly from LA down to DC and do so, you know, they might be like, and in a crowd, no,
I'm gonna try to get Violet for y'all. See, she makes her own schedule. She's her own agent. She's an actor. She's just an actor of a different sort.
Listen.
If Hilton, she's a great actor. No, her work. Wow.
Hilton.
Her work is incredible. Hey, y'all, if y'all trying to look at, everybody who's on the pod right now, Violet Myers.
Oh my God.
No, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help the community.
I'm sure the community already knows about her.
Her Twitter handle is Violet Saucy. VioletSaucy.
Oh, you know what? No. I'm gonna put this plug in. Go to YouTube, look up Violet Myers, and she tries on all these different outfits.
No, don't. Why are you belittling her like that?
I'm not.
She does other things. She's done videos with other people in the community. King Vader. She did a video with King Vader.
She has a video. She has a video vlog of her going to San Diego Comic-Con. So
yeah, she's a blur.
Yeah, and but that one video
actor
specifically is.
We saw her at that other convention.
Hold on, did we?
Yeah, she was there.
She was.
She was at that convention.
You lie.
She was in the blue.
You lie.
Remember?
I don't remember.
Because I remember her face.
Of course you do.
And then when I was doing some research one day. And then I saw her. I was like, oh shit. And so that's when I followed her.
And that's when you finished? Anyways. So listen.
It's just research.
Long research. Hilton.
Wow.
If you can get at least 1 or 2 cast members from Lovecraft for next year, man, I'll be particularly Journey Smollett.
We need Hippolyta. All right.
Well, she, you know, it's funny because interesting story. We got the opportunity to preview the first 3 episodes of Lovecraft Country in June, right? And the San Diego Comic-Con people did not get to preview the show before they did the interview. We technically interviewed after San Diego Comic-Con, but we had like, this is based on the show and what we saw. And I think, and I'm not being too biased here, I think we had a better interview that you saw that Lauren Grant did.
Yes, I saw that. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that interview.
It's okay to
we worked really, really hard on the questions, and she worked really, really hard on, you know, just kind of figuring out her delivery and stuff like that, and you know, doing the research on the actors and trying, because you had 7 people on the screen in 50 minutes, you know, to try and get everybody to participate in this conversation. There was going to be an art and a science to it. And Anjanou, which is her name.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She self-described, because none of them had heard the term blurred before. We're still evangelizing the term blurred. Because she had, Blerdcon shirt, and they were like, "What's that shirt you're wearing?" She's like, "Oh, it's Blerdcon," and da 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 da. And she said, "I'm a blurred." She said, "That's me," And so she self-identified, not as her character as a blur, which she is, but as an individual. So I think that any member of the cast, even the behind the scenes people for Lovecraft Country, would be a really great catch, because it's such a catch-all show. It had everything. It had Afrofuturism, science fiction, horror, fantasy, you name it, adventure, everything was in it. And it was just so well done as a Black show, with Black cast and Black storylines and Black narrative. It was so rich. So that's what I'm hoping to do. We'll see. I'm gonna put a bug in and see what HBO wants to do. But these are just, we're not even at that stage until we stop getting 1,000 people dying a day and figure out what's going to happen with this election. And don't nobody want to hear from me until they know who's going to be at the White House on January 20th.
Listen, just get Uncle George back, because
please get Uncle George on.
Everybody,
Uncle George.
Man, I'm so hurt.
Man, I invested so much emotion with that character, man. But
y'all
anyway,
act like that brother was y'all ride home from the club.
He was
y'all
my
like, Uncle
uncle.
George. No, and I'm like, okay, I know you don't want to lose, but we gotta lose. Somebody got to go.
crossroads.
Now here's what I'm gonna say. All right,
y'all not going Uncle Charles, y'all.
Some people not gonna agree with me on this one. All right. I can't remember the actor's name, but Uncle George should have lived, and the guy who was Omar, I don't remember. I don't know who Omar is.
Mike K. Williams, yeah. Montrose. I'm sorry, Montrose. You should have took that bullet. Nah, man. I want Uncle George back. Nah, man. I need Uncle George, man. That was
he
my
would
guy.
have had Lovecraft Country would have been 4 episodes long. Because the whole story arc going all the way up to episode 9 was Montrose. You can't do a Montrose story with no Montrose.
Man, but before that night when they went to dinner, he read that one was the bylaws. After reading that bylaws, he just put 2 and 2 together. And then when Atticus got up, he's like, "I want everybody in this room to get the fuck out." Like,
that was an order.
he was able to put pieces together in such little time in order to put things in his favor. And I like how the fact that this whole series portrayed each and every Black character as like intelligent, because you don't really get to see that.
Yeah, everybody
was smart. Everybody was like, I get that we were in an era where everybody was like reading books and stuff like that, but like most TV shows, when you see Black people, it's like, oh, that's Doug number 1 or Doug number 2. But this TV show, like, everybody played a phenomenal role, like a big role with each and every character.
Well, every character had depth and dimension, and most characters had both their flaws and their assets. So it's like people who are in love with Tick as a character, you had to take in flaws and all, because by the time you got to what was it, episode 5, where he was in the Korean War, he was no, man, hey, dude, chill. Like, I thought, people was like, he could have been easily written as some Tom Sawyer, Andy Griffith, hero, typical, can't do no wrong. And he's flawed. He got anger issues.
Yeah.
He got PTSD.
He had a war fucking.
He got not just that. He was messed up before.
Yeah.
Well, the abuse, the victim of abuse.
Yeah. He was about to get killed by the.
Yeah. Just in case.
What do you mean just in case?
Just in case.
Shame on anybody out there.
What? It's been like 3 weeks already.
Where my bell?
People who listen to our show,
where my bell? Shame.
Who ain't finished?
Shame.
But yeah, shit, man. He got. And think about it. Like, usually sadly, when you see Black people in the show, they gotta play a certain role. If you are the smart one, you're the one behind the computer, and you don't get to go out.
You're like my man in Die Hard. You don't even, you in the vault.
Exactly.
Clicking away the whole show.
And think about it, even in superheroes, even in superhero movies.
Cyborg.
Exactly. Cyborg.
Oh my God.
He is a character, but he fights, but he's just shooting a gun real quick. But he usually stays behind. Oh, I'm gonna go interface with this computer to shut this down.
Pretty much.
Like,
he's in a watchtower, just open up boom tubes everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna open up this boom tube. Like he doesn't get to do what Superman does and like actually take down the bad guy.
Coax cable.
Yeah.
Connecting. That's what he is. Hey, we can't talk to this.
Bruh.
Cyborg, you got we need audio.
Computers. We're stupid. You got Batman. And you can't understand computers? Come on, man. If Batman is there and Cyborg is there, if I'm Cyborg, I'm saying, nigga, you go over there and do that shit. You the world's greatest detective. Figure that shit out.
Y'all gonna get tired of asking me for my IT time. I do this
exactly, man. I'm gonna start charging you niggas.
Don't worry, I'm sure Batman is already he
probably well compensated
the checks. He sends the bills to everybody.
How do you send that bill like to Cyborg? Like he don't have a mailing address?
That man pays with Bitcoin.
His PayPal is probably lit. He just
just
request.
Does Cyborg need to eat anymore?
No, he doesn't.
Mm-mm.
Damn.
Remember the only thing that Cyborg is pretty much just like RoboCop.
Oh no, that's horrible.
Just think about it. Yeah, half his head is there, or his brain is there, right?
Yeah.
But then the lower half is pretty much like fucked up.
Shit! So he can't fuck.
Now the 80s Cyborg had a torso.
And he could have sex.
The 80s Cyborg had a torso. It was his legs and his arms and part of his upper body, neck, and head that was machinery.
Yeah, he had one arm that was flesh and one leg that was flesh.
You know, it was like right mid-thigh is where the robotic starts. He probably had some parts internally, but he had a torso at one point.
But could that Cyborg get girls?
You know, this was during the era before Luke Cage, so I don't know if they was letting the brother get nothing on Titans. That was,
hey man, we need a new Cyborg, man. We need Cyborg with like the torso parts. Like,
well, look, the brother from Doom Patrol got some.
Oh, so he can smash. All right, cool.
They didn't show the mechanics of it, no pun intended, but
mechanics.
But he
So hold on, I gotta recharge.
Well, hold on, let me just pump some oil through here real quick.
Pump some oil. Hey, you got a USB Type C?
Oh man, he got an update.
See,
that's crazy. He got to update the USB every time a new iPhone come out.
Oh man,
he got a lightning jack.
Thunderbolt
3.0.
3.1.
What about HDMI though?
HDMI 2.1.
We got the audio and the video coming through. I see.
God damn, that would be crazy.
4K receptor on that joint.
Oh my God.
God bless America.
And no place else. But, I mean, anything else like in the works right now, like that we might happen at the end of this year, or are you just unveiling that next year?
Well, all we can really talk about, is goals and plans. To be perfectly honest with you, this whole promotional thing really just wound down last weekend. This is the first like week that I've had, not last week, the week before last, where I didn't have like a social media and web schedule, email schedule, podcasts and interviews and stuff I was arranging around one of the clients. So I'm really just kind of bringing my head up above water to kind of look and see what's going to happen. And, let me just inject a little reality into this. The NIH, the CDC, they're all talking about a vaccine hitting them, being ready and approved by either the end of December or like the first month of the new year. And, I believe them. They've really fast-tracked a lot of stuff. It'll be mostly the frontline workers, the most vulnerable population, medical professionals, first responders. Those people will be the ones that get vaccinated first. And then, you got like 5 or 6 of them that are in, second and third stage trials. So by the time we get into late winter, early spring, you're going to have maybe 2, maybe 3 vaccines that are on the market and being circulated around. I think the real question is going to be, and I really don't want to get too wonky with this, is what is the effectiveness of the vaccine? If it's a 50% immunity, it'll help, but it won't wipe out it won't wipe out COVID, it'll just give everybody a nice little boost and help us get control over it. If we get like 60, 75%, that's like the flu vaccine. You get a flu vaccine, your chances of getting that strain of the flu is like 5%, 10%, right? If we get one of those, then by the time we get to the summer, we could look at a reality where there wouldn't be any infections. And the only people who really need to be careful are folks who have, immune deficiencies or somewhat vulnerable in other ways, pre-existing conditions, yada, yada, yada. So if we get in the best case scenario and the most mid-range scenario puts mid-July, which is where Blerdcon 2021 is, square on the island of among the first like full-blown, clear, ready to go conventions.
Well, just in time for my birthday.
Just in time for I'm gonna change my birthday to that joint, to be honest with you. And then we'll see what we can do. I think the con community is ready. I think we're just ready, just waiting for the notice.
Definitely.
I think the market will be more than ready. I don't know if you've noticed, but airline flights are real cheap. You could spend a week in Vegas for the same price as like a weekend in the Catskills. It's you can really get around now. So if all that stuff is happening, I think Blerdcon is going to be like in a really, really good spot for 2021. Unfortunately, we won't, really, really have a hardcore sense of where that's going to be until we get into the mid-spring. So the good news is this: one, all of the guests that we had booked for 2020 have re-upped for 2021. So that the guest list that we had advertised for last summer is all agreed to come this summer. So that guest list as it stands right now is pretty good, barring something crazy. The date and everything is locked in, working with the city to expand some of the venues. And then we're going to be looking at some of our partners and see who they want to bring. And I think there's going to be some exciting opportunities. But that's really all I have on the Blerdcon front, other than just, hoping everybody just, we got time, man. It's like we got like 8 months. That's a long time. It's like it's been 9 months to this point from like February. That's hard to wrap our heads around. But to say we got another 8 months that's going to look similar to what we're doing now, it's not going to be over quick. And I hope that people are staying safe, not getting tired. What's the word I'm looking for? COVID fatigue.
Yeah.
Cabin fever.
Cabin fever. I saw a lot of people taking pictures, in crowds, groups of more than 2 or 3 for Halloween.
And ain't seen me do shit. Keep my ass inside.
Man, I was light skinned before, but now, like, I can't tell my palm from the back of my hand because I ain't been outside.
Yeah, I might revert back, man. You never know.
So that's on the news front, at least, for future projection.
So the theme. I know usually I have a theme every year.
Well, we made a decision to do Chocolate City again because we didn't get to do it.
Okay, good. Because I like that.
If something comes along that merits a change, see, you got to remember the hardest thing about the theme is really getting the promo stuff out. The digital stuff is easy. You just update the website, social media, whatever, take a day. But when you get the big pull-up banners and you go traveling all over the country like we did, like we go to Dragon Con and we have a table and we're promoting. We go to MomoCon, we got a table, we're promoting. We got DJ Taylor Senpai spinning. We do the whole nine when we go out. We take the party with us. We want to give them a sense of what Blerdcon is going to be when we go to where we're promoting. And we're not going to have that in the lead up to this year. All we're going to have is our digital media. So if something comes along that merits us changing or deviating from the Chocolate City for some opportunity that might come along, talking to you, HBO, hi HBO, we could switch, we could turn on a dime and do it. I don't think people will really mind. I just think people want to have that safe space back.
Yeah, we need it back.
People want to do their 2-step. People want to eat some ribs. They want to. And if we give them, the barbershop, you were talking about that earlier. I didn't know the barbershop was going to work. I mean,
the barbershop,
no.
Come on, man.
I'm telling you, Listen, here's 2 reasons. You want to hear why? One, most people are very provincial about who they let cut their hair.
True.
That's true. Well, yeah, that is true.
Like you know, when you go to your barbershop and you see like there's
A
an
guy,
empty chair, but your barber's got like 3 people, and he try to be nice. He got a rookie come in like, hey man, you know, I got 3 people ahead of you, but Chauncey's seat is empty. Like, who the hell? Oh no, I'm good.
I'm good.
You
I'll
just
wait.
gotta mess up one time. You just gotta.
No, I
mess
do.
Up one
I go
time.
right back to my car. I'll be like, hey, I'll be back in. I go right back to my car.
Take my little number and I'm gonna go around the corner. And so I'm not sure. I wasn't sure people were gonna let stranger cut their hair. Second, you know, were people gonna take the time? You know, was it going to be something that people wanted to dedicate the time to do? And so we booked the barbers to only cut hair on Friday and Saturday. I wasn't even going to mess with them. I was like, it's probably going to be so sparse, and they might make their money, whatever. They came to me on Saturday like, can we cut hair tomorrow? I'm like, you don't need to, you know. They're like, nah, man, we had lines and all this stuff, and I was like, oh, y'all want to cut tomorrow?
You know, some of them trying to look fresh because we came in there a little crusty. We was like, oh shit,
dude,
right
it made
like,
me so proud.
It's desperation. You got to go in there. Yeah, you got to shake.
But see,
up,
now
man.
we got to do something for the ladies, you know. So we got to figure out. We got to do something with wigs or something with nails or, you know, something that doesn't require like a lot of water or stuff because it's got to be self-contained. But we got to figure out something to do along those lines because it's a hit. You know, and it's funny because are you ready for this? You sitting down? Are you ready? Are you listening? Right. Some of the non-Black niche market cons were hitting me up, and they were like, "So how did you do that barbershop thing?" And I was kind of like, and I was like, "Well, there's a barber's college, and I know some actual barbers that I brought in. One came from Delaware, the other one came from like the school in Maryland, and all this. You know, we piece it together and let them know." It's a very fine line because anybody who's a functioning barber is not going to give up their Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's their heavy chair days to come. So you got to find somebody who's got the talent to do it and the skill set and the certification, but doesn't have like their own shop or something like that. But it dawned on me, I was like, you know, I would imagine there's probably some white people, non-Black people who would want to have some type of hair stuff done too. I was like, so I told him, I was like, look, if y'all want to put one together, even if you just want to service the Black people that's coming to your con, I'd be happy to give you the recipe because I think it's something that we need. All the reasons that made it work at Blerdcon are the exact same situations that we have at every other convention with 20% or more Black people in attendance.
Listen, you got to charge for that information because right now you're basically their adversary for their research for urban development. So, so you better charge a consultation fee. Be like, look, this is I just appeal to what they really needed. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I kind of sort of know what they want.
It's like so okay, so what do they need? Well, you gotta have good AC.
Yes, please.
You were fighting for good AC the first year because I remember you going around. It's like, hey, can we get AC in this room here? Can we get fresh ice?
Dude, I'm telling you. Listen, the water stations, like people were flipping out about the water stations, and I'm sitting there like how could you have a con without water stations? Like people was hot. Like you shouldn't make it a chore. Like you shouldn't have to go all the way up to your room to get a glass of water. Or wait 10 minutes at the bar to pay $2 for a glass of water if you're thirsty at a con. So I'm like, it's a bucket with a spigot on it, and you go. It's not like it's Evian. It's the sink. It's sink water. I mean, let's be honest. Like, can we have 10 of those? I mean, you know, it's the same water you drinking out the fountain. It's it's Arlington.
You can taste the iron in that shit. We know
taste the antibiotics, man.
That's minerals, man.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it is minerals. You're right. Yeah.
That's mineral.
Okay.
Iron is a mineral. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Make your skin smooth.
That's a bad side effect. You drink that shit, your skin gets smooth. Hey man,
that brother look like a balloon. What are you doing over there?
Why your so red?
Your skin looks kind of tinty right now. What's going on?
Got that green tinge.
Oh my god!
Change the white balance on your skin.
Oh my god!
But I got to tell you, man. I think what's going to happen is that when Blerdcon 2021 comes around, and this is my message and my warning to people. because we haven't really turned gears to really start promoting and doing marketing. We wanted to avoid all of the election noise and stuff that people need to be focused on, which is voting. And so once we get on the other end of this and we start talking about Thanksgiving, Christmas time and all that stuff, you're going to start to see more event promotion. When this happens, it's going to happen all at once. And I'm talking to the people who are going to be emailing me about rooms that are booked and about, preferred airlines and, badges. There's going to be certain badge tiers that are going to be tapped out and capped. The VIP badge is capped. You just simply cannot have more than 250, VIP badges because of the spaces that we have reserved for those people. So once you start getting this, I'm talking to the audience now, once you start getting the information about reserving your badge, reserving a room, which doesn't cost you anything to reserve a room in Virginia. You go to the website of any of the area hotels, including the host, if there's any rooms available, and you put your credit card in, but it doesn't charge your credit card until you check in, right? So it doesn't cost you nothing to reserve your room. So I recommend everybody book a room. Get your transportation together. Talk to your people, because that'll scuttle your plans real quick. If everybody's dependent on Cindy, and Cindy not feeling it, and then that throws the money off. You might need to plan for a 3-person operation and make your 4th person a bonus. Whatever it is you got to do. But I have a feeling that once this kicks off and the ball starts rolling, it's going to be quiet, Blerdcon, and then everything's just going to really start snowballing. Yeah. And then I'm not going to say out of control, because I've got unlimited, air quotes, availability to put programming in space. So if we go from 6,000 to 10,000 people in 1 year, I can put that 4,000 people somewhere. So I'm not really worried about venue caps so much as people having a place to stay, people being able to book reliable transportation, prepare in advance and stuff like that. So it's once the promo starts rolling and when things start happening, it's going to happen all at once. And we're looking forward to that. But we want people to be ready and know that we're doing our research and making it safe and making it fun and making it, something that's going to be healthy, so that nobody's got to worry about no madness or foolishness when they get there.
Okay,
perfect. Thank you, Mr. Hilton, for joining.
Anytime. I always love talking to brothers in 4K. Y'all,
I'm in 1080p max, and this shit don't render 720 max through the internet.
I'm counting the hairs on this brother's mustache.
4K.
And I'm over here looking like Donkey Kong Jr. with my 8-bit, my 8-bit camera.
Nah, man, you look smooth.
Yeah, because I ain't no details.
Nah, you was drinking that water. He was drinking that water with the iron in it.
That's right, boy. That oxy, that oxy, whatever that stuff is in the water, boy. Mm-hmm. Keep you nice and
drinking that shit. Uh-oh. But yeah.
Or I could just show you my other stuff. Y'all want to see something real quick?
What you got over there? Oh, damn. You got the whole... Damn. You just like my uncle. My uncle got the whole table. What you want?
This is a multi-purpose space, man. We gotta be ready for anything. I got my cosplay table over there with all my unworn cosplays. This is my workstation. This is actually where I do most of my work. I just happen to turn the camera on. And then over here is where things get low and having a hard day. Let me reach over here. Get my Lord. Donald Glover to over this shit.
Yeah, man.
Riggs, have you seen my wife? With my daughter, Riggs.
Where's my daughter?
See, he's in Lethal Weapon 2. He's already,
oh Lord,
he's already in Lethal Weapon 2 with that. But I'm with you.
There we go.
But yeah.
Oh man.
Thanks again, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man. Listen, I remember seeing y'all at Katsu, and y'all had done a show in the lobby.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, and that's what I knew y'all hung, and I knew there was a podcast happening somewhere within the group, but I didn't really know that y'all were like the crew. And we had a blast, man. We had fun that time at dinner, man. That was a really, really good time we had, man.
Cold, yeah, it was great. I wish I remembered it.
We remember it for you. Yeah. So I was like, man, this is long overdue, man. I think we could probably do this periodically and talk about issues of the day. because y'all have a lot of fun, and y'all are a lot of fun to hang around in real life, which means hanging out virtually is even easier. So.
Yeah, man. I'm just wishing for us to get the pod back together in person, man. Got this mixer sitting over here collecting dust. I'm ready.
I got the mics over here.
Yeah. So
he got the glow mics. Yeah, he got the soft light behind him on the wall. I mean,
we waiting to start it back up again, man.
It'll be soon, brother.
I guess we gotta bring the pod to Blerdcon, man.
Hey,
pop off.
Said nothing but a word. Well, we're gonna make it happen.
All right.
Well, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Oh, I'm looking the wrong way. It's another episode of Everybody Gets One. Don't forget to follow us on all our social medias at Everybody Gets 01. And follow Hilton. Hilton, give him your socials.
Blerdcon DC on Twitter, Blerdcon on Instagram. We got a group and a Facebook page. We also have our website, blerdcon.com. And just you get all the news and information on the social media. It hits that first. So subscribe to it and make sure you set your notification, because there's nothing worse than like, oh, I hit like for the Blerdcon page or I'm following the group, but I don't have the notifications to see first or get notifications. And then we put out something that's time sensitive and people are like, I didn't know. And I'd be like,
should have hit that.
But don't forget about the other one. Was it Blerdcon Connect?
Well, that's coming. Now, that's something that we're working on. And I will tell you, and this, you don't have to keep this in the thing or not, but Blerd Connect is a community website. It is my passion project that has been delayed because of all that we've been doing this summer. I went into the summer wanting to put Blerd Connect together, but then I got a call from HBO, then I got a call from Warner Brothers, then I got a call from Afropunk, and then I got a call from DC Comics, and it was just like, okay, so it just kept getting kicked down the road. One of the things that we struggle with, and I'm on a soapbox you can't see me standing on right now, but one of the things we struggle with is that we are using channels to communicate the Black nerd message and speaking to the Black nerd community and to do commerce with the Black nerd community that we don't own. You know, we don't own Instagram, we don't own Facebook. They're great channels, they're great places to have a strong presence and everything, but just like you've seen, there'll be people who have 400,000 followers, and for no reason at all, Instagram will be like, you know what? No. And then you'll be at zero and your account is gone.
Yep.
Now, if your business model is hinging on anyone else's social media to sell your product or market your message or your podcast or anything like that, that can be devastating if you got sponsors that are based off of your followers, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Yep. You know, I think that day is coming, man. And so Blerd Connect is going to be a marketplace where, one, you know, you're going to be able to put everything. You know, we're not going to, you know, if it's 21 and up material, there'll be place for that. You know, if you want to have, you know, like an online market shop.
Sam liked that. Sam liked that. As soon as you said 21 plus, his head, he went like.
Sam is a photographer, man. And he's an artist.
Sam is nasty.
And
Sam is nasty.
But
he's not just a photographer.
He is. According to Facebook, he is. But the problem is that he doesn't get a platform that allows him to show
how nasty
the best
he
parts
is.
Of his portfolio. Yeah,
true.
You know, and I don't necessarily. Listen, if Tumblr had not tried to come onto the 700 Club Christian network and make everything, you know, family friendly and then destroy itself, I wouldn't be having that part of the conversation, because Tumblr was always there and available for anyone who was doing 21 up.
Yep.
But now, and you know, we got to be sensitive, and we have to be open, and we have to be available for people across the board. You know, and so I said, well, you know, it's not rocket science to buy a domain. Now, obviously, you got to promote it and put it together, but you know, that's going to be something that we launch probably in the next month or so. And, you know, it's really going to be about getting the content up and getting the people to use it as an additional channel, because you guys aren't on just one channel. You may have Twitch, you may have Instagram, you may have Twitter, and then you'd also have Blerd Connect on YouTube or something. Just be something to add to reach. And you don't have to worry about an algorithm, I hate the algorithm is the worst. We used to be able to game the algorithm. You post after 2:30 and use the hashtag
blah
blah blah and now the algorithm's like, nah, we just don't want to see
the algorithm is alive, man. That shit got its own AI and shit. It's like
Skynet.
What you trying, man? Get this shit off my
Skynet. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Skynet. You be posting stuff like, ain't nobody see this.
They need to go back to letting us see our timeline in order. That would be nice. Like Twitter's the only thing that kind of allows you to do it. Like you could turn it back on to go in order, but then after like 4 or 5 months, if you don't keep looking, it'll go back into a randomized order. Hate that shit.
Yep. And the algorithm is killing people. And again, you used to be able to build a market based on how well you knew how to work the algorithm.
Exactly.
And if for whatever reason use one wrong hashtag, or you get flagged for somebody's post on your page or your group or whatever, and the algorithm don't like you no more, and then all of a sudden you're not getting no more subscriptions, and you're not getting any more looks, and your engagements are going down, you're like, I got 10,000, 16,000 followers, and I got 4 likes on this major post I put out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. What's going on? So yeah, there's a reason why we're going to put that out there. It's going to be a little bit of a for us by us type of a thing, and I think it's going to be really fun. We're going to take a virtual Blerdcon step into the virtual world and see what happens. So keep an eye open for Blerd Connect, because it's coming.
That was a great commercial. I love that.
Perfect. But wait, there's more. No,
perfect.
Order Blerd Connect and get this free gray hat with no name.
For 4 easy payments of $16.95.
Yeah, and you can feed the children.
And this free glass of mineral water from the.
From the hotel lobby floor.
The hotel. Get your Blerd water.
Hey man, if the Blerd water change your melanin, that ain't good, man. Seek your doctor. Seek your doctor.
Yeah, where's the disclaimer?
Exactly. We do not condone drinking this water, but it's here. But yeah,
y'all a mess, man. Y'all are a mess. Yeah.
Okay,
we got to do this next time we get a chance to do this. We do it live somewhere. We got to do it with alcohol and just see how
I wish, but Sam won't drink.
Well, he can be the moderator.
Nah, nigga, you need to drink. No, I want Sam to. Nah, I want Sam.
All right, you know what? I will have 4 cups
of what?
Of Hilton's moonshine.
No, you won't. You a goddamn liar.
That shit was hot last time.
He won't drink.
You had some of that? Oh,
yeah. Snap. Yeah. I remember that we drank that in your room.
Oh, snap. That's true. Oh,
you drank like 1 cup.
What mean 1 cup? That was a Jolly Rancher flavor joint.
Dude.
Man.
Maybe
my tolerance level was just higher or something. Because Sam didn't look like he was fucked up.
Sam probably one of those guys to get more mellow when he drink. Like he just kind of just more chill, whatever. I'll figure something out. I'm about to put something in his drink.
Hey man, just take me to the strip club. You're good.
Nah, man, we gotta get you high or something. Man, we gotta get you on this podcast.
No, was it Friday? Is it Friday?
We gotta fuck you up on this podcast one day.
Friday? This brother just said I'm gonna get you high.
Yeah, no, we got to, man. Something's wrong with Sam, man.
You get fired on your day off. Craig.
I'm gonna put a disclaimer on this episode. We do not condone the use of drugs.
Oh yeah, we don't condone the use of drugs or alcohol. Blah blah blah, yada.
Roofing
members. Oh yeah, don't roofie your friends. Don't roofie your cast members.
There you go. Now you can say what you want.
I'm gonna roofie him, but go ahead. All right, bye everybody.
Bye niggas.